Advaitaamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadyayini Amba Tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gīte Bhavadveshini Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindrayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bhartatena Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Tutra Vitraikaparne Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gītāmritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dokta Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Duktam Gītāmritam Mahata Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chaluramardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Hari
Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yogo Nama. This is the name of the 9th chapter which we see. Bhagavan tells to Arjuna that I am going to give you this royal knowledge, royal secret. And he says, Yaj Jnatva, the tradition is, Mokshase Ashubhat. Quickly you will gain moksha from this world which is called as Ashubha. Ashubha world means inauspicious world. Everywhere that we turn is some trouble or the next. Troubles which cannot be fixed. I told you. In the world itself, you cannot fix anything. Not possible. When you fix something here, something gone wrong, correct or not? Have you seen? Sometimes you try to get a piece of scotch tape out of your hand. You try to get a piece of scotch tape out of your hand, right? So you take this hand, you pull it out. Now you stick on this hand. So again you take this hand, you pull it out, you stick on this hand. The difficult thing. So in this world, from within the world itself, there is no solution to all the pairs of opposite. So if, see, it is a very simple equation. If the mountain does not come to Muhammad, then what is the next one? Well, Muhammad had to go to the mountain, isn't it? Have you heard that? The mountain doesn't come to Muhammad, Muhammad has to go to the mountain. So if you can't fix anything in this world, then the only other option you have left at your disposal is fix yourself. Correct or not? Do you know that is the best solution for anything in this world? Everybody trying to change everybody else. Wife trying to change husband, husband trying to change wife, and both of them trying to change children, and children trying to change them. Because the children say, I don't know how to these Jurassic people now, man. I don't know how to these Jurassic people. They don't even know how to send up texts. The children are trying to change them, train, not change them only, train them. The parents are trying to train the children are trying to train the parents also, not to send a little text at least. You only know how to make a phone call. When you see a green button come on there, you press. And the youngsters, look here, every day I see all kind of nice, funny stories. And I have real fun in my life, You see this, the one youngster showed me. He says, Swāmīji, look how my mother and father, look how them brothers answer phone. Right? Nowadays, all these smartphones, all of them have smartphone and thing, Nowadays, all these smartphone, everything is touch. But the older generation don't know about touch. Even though it's a touch screen, they're pressing. You see? Exactly. The till young generation, they have been telling me, I have good fun. They don't have to touch the thing, them also. When it's done, it damages the screen and everything. Wherever that thing that's come on that screen, go way out right there. They way out the screen. Anyway, so the younger generation, they say this thing about the older generation. And the older generation, they say, these youngsters, they know nothing. Really, I tell you the other day, we had a camp. We went up to Tobago in the mountain, and I gave them youngsters. And I said, look at have aloo there, and look at have some knife there. Peel them aloo. I know joking, eh? They don't know which side of the knife you have to use to peel the aloo. You know, the knife have a dull side and a sharp side. They don't know if you have to peel the aloo with the dull side or the sharp side. In other words, they never hold a knife to peel aloo in their life. Eh? Think about the parents who bring up them children. You know, we had to tell them, leave it. Leave it. They don't know the basic things in life. I tell you, when I talk about basic, what happened? They stand up in the back of the jeep like this. They stand up in the back of the jeep, and the jeep going. The jeep take a corner like this. And the jeep can't over in the river. The jeep topple over in the river. The two of them fall out of the jeep and they sit down in the river. They're not talking no joke, you know. I driving behind the jeep. I driving the next jeep behind that jeep. The two of them fall out in the river. I have to go and tell them, hey, get up now. The basic thing like get up. They don't know. Anyway, these were foreigners, foreign youngsters. But Trinidad, quick getting there. You know how I know? Some years ago, we had a hike to one of the waterfall there. And there's a high part, like high from here till there. From the ground to this roof. A rock. So what we did, we knew, we went before and we saw. So while going there, we took a small ladder. And when we got to that point, we put the ladder and we said, okay, well, you climb up that ladder now and get on top of the rock. Ashok's father, who is almost 80 years old, he ran up the ladder. And all the young teenagers, they know how to climb a ladder. You have to tell them, okay, now lift this foot and put it in the next rung. Okay, that foot there, now lift the next foot and put it in. You have to tell. So this generation, the older generation, see this younger generation, they know nothing. And the younger generation feel, my parents, they know nothing. You could solve that generation gap. Anybody could solve that generation gap? Socrates. Socrates, one of the oldest known Greek philosopher, he wrote in his time about this generation gap, and he said there's no way to solve that. And today we solve it. And like this, you can't solve anything in this world. You think one day we'll solve all diseases? Anybody? Or we'll get rid of all diseases? I didn't know why. Yeah. When we get the vaccination for one, 10 new one come. Isn't it? That you don't have any Ebola. These diseases and all getting more and more high tech. You know, like email, you have Ebola. E-reader, this is Ebola. Disease also getting high tech. So we can remove diseases. When you find the solution for one, and then we can't find it, for some of them there's no cure. And beside that, look here. This world is structured so nicely. Even if you find vaccination for all of them, right? Yeah. How you go find vaccination for your tongue? Because that is the tongue we're eating all the junk food and that will give you heart diseases and all the other diseases inside. You will find vaccination for your tongue? No. That is the source of so many diseases, the tongue. Where the tongue want to eat this, want to eat that, want to eat the other thing. And when you get all the lifestyle diseases. You can't find no vaccination for your tongue. You see? So you can't solve problems from within the world. So if you can't solve the problems in the world, you can't change the world. Better change And do you know? That is the easiest, best, simplest, cost-effective, and only thing that works. And the Shastras tell, when I change my life, when I change my vision, when I change my attitude, the whole world changes. And not the other way around. But we are going the other way around. We want to change everything outside. And we always have good answers. This one should do this, that one should do that, the other one should do that, the other. We invited the Minister of Agriculture to come in the ashram. Not too long ago he was in the ashram. One of the ashram person, he tell the minister, he feel that his duty is to save the world. He feels his duty is to save the world. So he telling the minister, he said the first thing all you have to do is get rid of all this lawlessness in Trinidad. So he telling the minister what to do. The minister tell a most wise answer. He said, that had to start with you. You stop breaking the law. And do you know, I know that man, he will break all the law. Yeah. But he telling the minister, all you have to stop all lawlessness. And you should not be telling anybody in this world anything about doing anything. You first correct everything that is wrong with you. This world will be perfect then. But we are very good at telling who to do what. So, in the correcting our own self, what we need is knowledge. Because our problem is a problem, the human problem is a problem of ignorance. And Bhagwan got Arjuna on the battlefield, and because of Arjuna's ignorance, that manifested in so many various ways. And he collapsed on the battlefield. And Bhagwan has this window of opportunity there just to give this knowledge to Arjuna. And rehabilitate that personality and cause him to rise up and to face the challenge in front of him. And that can only be done with knowledge. Knowledge is the panacea for all human ills. But the knowledge has to be imbibed by me and practiced by me. Don't think about other people. So now, last night when we left it, Bhagwan went on praising all of this knowledge, and finally in 4th and 5th verses, he gave the knowledge. And we chanted that and we saw the literal meaning. We'll do that again today, and then now we'll see what that means, because there appears to be a very, very, very clear and palpable contradiction in the lines. When you take Vakyartha or Mukhyartha, means the literal meaning, there is a contradiction there. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
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 Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Matthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshvavastitah,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Nachamadstani bhutani pashya me yogameshwaram,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
bhuta bhinna cha bhutasthaha mamatma bhuta bhavanaha,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
I told you that these are the two most potent verses in the Bhagavad Gita, and if this is understood, the crux of the matter of the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita is understood. And for that, we have to really apply all our intellectual might to grasp what is being taught in the two verses, and therefore what is the essence of all the Upanishads and all. And don't ever say, no, Swāmī, that's too hard for me, I can't. Sing a bhajan na. Don't ever say that. Every human being is endowed with the intellectual faculty which has limitless potencies. And if you ever say that I cannot understand that, that is a clear sign of a tamas that has been inculcated over lifetimes. And one day, sooner or later, you will have to break that facade of tamas which is there in that intellect. You better start now. Because the human intellect has the capacity to understand the subtlest of concept or ideas. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the same Gita, in the 6th chapter, Bhagavan says that intellect has the capacity to grasp the reality also. Buddhi grahyam. Atindhyam. The reality which is beyond the senses, which is so subtle, sukshma, subtle, finest of fine things. The intellect is able to grasp that thing. And don't ever say that, it's too hard for me, beyond my intellect, that's not for me. Yeah, I go stick with my little bhajan and kirtan thing, and I go play my little ching ching, and I go okay. You could make a stool stand up on 2 legs. Try. You could make a stool stand up on 2 legs. That stool has to have 3 or more legs, isn't it? 2 legs, the stool will not stand up. But the stool is a human being or what? So, the human being has 3 faculties: body, heart, emotional faculty, and intellectual faculty. This body, physical; heart, emotional; and head, intellectual. And we need to develop all the 3 parts of the personality. That personality cannot stand. He's a mere animal actually if only 2 are developed. Because that's what the animal kingdom has. The animal has a body and they have the heart. They know about love very well. Your dog knows about love much better than you know. But the dog does not know mathematics. Because there is no intellectual faculty. It's an undeveloped intellectual faculty. One fellow says, my dog knows mathematics. The other fellow says, what, you're mad or what? How your dog know mathematics? He says, yeah man, my dog knows mathematics. When I ask my dog, 2 minus 2, he says nothing. What a silly thing. That because the dog says nothing, he means he knows mathematics. The dog cannot know mathematics. So, the human being has this intellectual faculty by which he is able to grasp what is taught in the Bhagavad Gita. Now see what are the statements again. Now, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. This is the first phrase. The first phrase, this whole world is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. It means Bhagavan pervades every iota of this universe, but he is unmanifest, means unseen. Because when you see watch, you see microphone, you see harmonium, you see people, building, trees, houses. You don't see God, but it is really God who is there pervading everything. So since you cannot see him, he calls us unmanifest. Avyakta murtina. In my unmanifest form, murti means form. So I pervade this entire universe in my unmanifest form. That's the first thing. Right? That's first sentence. Second sentence. Matsthani sarva bhutani. All beings dwell in me. Because this whole universe is dwelling in Bhagavan. He's the all-pervasive being. Then, nachaham teshu avastitaha. Nacha aham teshu avastitaha means I am not in them, but they are in me. Because the previous statement is they are in me. all things in this universe, we all dwell in the Lord. But I am not in them. That also contradicts the first one. I am not in them means that contradicts the word. Just now he said he pervades the whole world. So there is one contradiction already. Then the next statement, Nachamatthani bhutani, there are no beings in me. The beings do not dwell in me. But just now you said that all beings dwell in you. So I told you last night, I went at length to tell you that whatever you think to be contradictory in the Shastras, you do not think it is contradictory. It is only because you have not understood the Shastras completely that you feel that things are contradictory. Means to say, when you do not have full information and full knowledge, you always think something opposite or something wrong. And I was telling you, I gave you the example last night, if you see so many fellows holding down one fellow and beating him, you say, what kind of advantage is that? But when you get the full information, then you say, give him some more. I gave that example as well. Now, let us now go over these statements one by one. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagata vyakta murtina. When scientists ask, what is this world made up of? Well, they start developing microscopes and electron microscopes and, more and more powerful electron microscopes, and they go deeper and deeper into things. So in the old days, they started, okay, this is metal. First, so this thing is made up of metal. Second thing, what is metal made up of? Well, you go a little bit deeper, you realize that metal is made up of molecules. Then they developed science a little bit more, and they went deeper than the molecules. They found that the molecules are made up of atoms. Then they developed the microscope again more. Then they realized the atoms are made up of electrons, protons, neutrons. And that's what they teach we in school. Right? And then later that thing developed more and more. Then they go on beyond electrons, protons, neutrons. Now they tell that thing is made up of strings and quarks and neutrinos and all sort of subatomic particles. Right? Then we say, okay, what are those made up of? We said, okay, that those actually is really energy. So the final, they come down now to everything is just energy in motion. Then that energy in our scriptures we call a Shakti. You heard the word Shakti? Shakti means energy. But we say that the energy also is made up of something even deeper, because of a very simple, quite obvious observation. We say all things, including the energy now, which is, they have gone down to the deepest thing, the energy is made up of existence. Existence is the building block of the universe because of a simple, obvious observation. What is that? This exists or not? This thing exists? Right. This exists? Yes. The space in between the two, that space exists or not? And the hand which is pointing out the space, that hand exists or not? Right. Now you show me a thing which does not exist. You can't. You cannot show a thing which does not exist. If you are showing me the thing, that means the thing has to exist. So the universe is made up of the building block called as existence. And it is that existence which makes up everything. So when Bhagavan says, Maya tatamidam sarvam, I pervade this whole universe. I pervade the universe as existence. But that existence is not seen by us. What we see is microphone, we see lamp, we see watch, we see table, we see a harmonium, we see objects, people, place, animal, thing. We see all objects and with names and form. In other words, our attention is caught up only at the level of names and forms. And the existence, which is the building block upon which the name and form is existing, that existence is unmanifest to our eyes. Avyakta. So we don't see existence, we see names and forms. So this is the first line. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. Second line, matsthani sarva bhutani. Now, all the names and forms is bhutas. Bhutas mean beings, so you and I. All of us, we call it bhuta. Bhuta in Hindi means ghost. This is not a Hindi scripture. This is Sanskrit. In Hindi, bhoot means ghost. Long ago, if you hear anybody say bhoot, when we were children and they say bhoot, quickly we go under the cover. Because you're afraid ghost. You're afraid of ghost. And the old people say, and they used to say in that kind of voice, no, bhoot tumko pakar lenge. Grandfather was very good at Hindi and all that. And when he says it in that voice, bhoot tumko pakar lenge, it means that the ghost will catch you. Quickly we go under the cover. Cover head to toe. Bhuta means beings, human beings, any type of beings, right? Bhuta. It says, Sarva Bhutani, all beings, Matsthani means Maisthani. All beings are dwelling in me. In other words, all the names and forms which we are seeing, this is called lamp. So it has a name and a form. It's called microphone. This has a name and a form. All the names and forms are existing on what? On existence, isn't it? Existence is their substratum, their aadhar, adhishtan. And if that substratum is not there, there will be no place for name and form to exist. I'll give you another example. The easiest example is clay and pot. So if you have a clump of clay here, and you take it, and you make it into a pot, right? So this clump of clay has 5 pounds. After you make the pot with this clump of clay, how many pounds the pot will have? 5 pounds. If the clay clump here had 5 pounds, and you take that clay and that clump and you made a pot, the pot will also have 5 pounds. I hope you understand that thing. One fellow went by the bus terminal in New York City. He asked the vendor there, how much for a ticket from here to Boston? A bus ticket from here to Boston. He said $40. He said, how much for a ticket from Boston to back here? He said, $40. Come to you, stupid or what? He tell him just so. He said, I'm to you, stupid or what? It's same $40. If $40 this way, why $40? Yeah? He said, but me I know, you know. Because from Christmas to New Year's is only 1 week. But from New Year's to Christmas is a whole year. Oh Lord. I have people who think of everything. You know? Anyway, if this clump of clay has 5 pounds and you take the clay and you make a pot, the pot will also have 5 pounds, right? Now, after you make the pot, see over here when it was a clay clump and you touch that, what are you touching? Clay. After you make the pot and you touch it, what are you touching? Clay, bhaiya. You're only touching clay. There is nothing else there except clay. Here there was clay and here there was clay. The difference is now, to the clump of clay, we have added nama rupa, name and form, which prior to that was not there. Prior to the pot, there was no name and form. Means pot name and form. Or some other name and form was there. But pot name and form was there. So now we have superimposed on the clay nama rupa, name and form. But nama rupa is not a real thing. Name and form is actually not a real thing. Because, now suppose I have the pot here, right? So how many things are there now? Name, pot. Form, round, belly. Big belly pot. Name, form. And the third thing which is there is clay. So there are 3 things. Name pot, shape pot, and clay. 3 things. Okay, so you have 3 things in front of you. Oh, so now from these 3 things, I'm only going to remove one. I remove clay. 1 atom and I put it there. 1 atom, I put it there. I keep removing atom by atom. Put it aside. After I remove all the atoms of clay, There was three things, and I am only removing one. After I remove all the atoms of clay and put it aside, what will be left? I hear in the old days, the old people, when they go to cut cane, they used to carry water in a calabash. You know, calabash? A boli, calabash. So one old man gone to cut cane, and he carry a calabash of water, and he hang it up on a tree. Some ants walk up the tree, walk the branch, walk down the string, and walk to the calabash, and eat out the calabash, and leave the water hanging. No, you think that's possible? That's a story you just hear, right? But you know that's foolishness. The ant can eat all the calabash and leave the water hanging there. No. If I remove all the clay one side, you think Nama Rupa will remain here? Name and form of what will remain? How it will remain? There is no substratum for the name and form to stand on. The name and form needs a fundamental material on which to stand. And I remove the fundamental material. So in the very same way now, you just apply that to this universe. This has name and form. This has name and form. Everything has name and form. And the building block is existence. In the case of the pot, the building block was clay. The building block of this universe is existence. Right? So now, where do all the names and form exist? On existence. Like clay, a pot and round shape, pot and shape, name and form, existed on clay. All these names and forms which you see in front of you, countless, infinite number, they rest on existence. So all beings rest in me. That is the second statement. All the beings rest in me because all the names and forms are beings only. They rest in me. They rest on existence. Second, not third statement. No beings are in me. This statement is called Paramarthik Drishti. Paramarthik Drishti means from the absolute standpoint. Now I want to tell you what is the absolute standpoint. I mean, all you have to do is change your angle of vision or your standpoint of vision, right? Suppose you go down inside the clay pot and you find one molecule of clay, right? You go down inside and you find a molecule of clay. So you also become the size of a molecule, and you go down inside the pot and you meet one of the molecule. And you tell that molecule, hey, how you going there, pot? You ask him, you ask that molecule, how you going there, pot? That molecule of clay will say, why you calling me pot? I am a molecule of clay. My name is not pot, my name is clay molecule. But then you tell him, well, no, when I came from outside and I was watching, I was seeing a pot. So you are actually a pot. But when you go inside the molecule and you call him pot, he said, no, from my standpoint, from the molecule standpoint, it have anything like pot? From the molecule standpoint, when you go inside, there is no such thing as pot. It is like you take a cube of ice. When you look from outside, it's a cube of ice. So you go deep down inside the cube of ice now. You become H2O molecule, that size. And you go deep down inside. And now you are mingling with all the molecules. Right? From their standpoint, it have anything like cube? If you ask any one of that molecule, do you know you are a cube? He said, what happened to you? You're blind or what? You can't see I am 2H with a O. The molecule will ask you that. You can blind or what? You can't see I am 2H with a O. Wait, talk about cube. Why you call me cube? So from his standpoint, he will always be H2O. And in him, there is no such thing as cube. from an outer standpoint, when you look, you're seeing cube. So you see Nama Roop. So Nama Roop is from the outside. So from the outside, when you see all of these beings, well, all of these beings exist in Bhagwan. If you go into Bhagwan and merge with Bhagwan, there is no such thing as any beings, Nama Rupa. For the realized soul, that is the vision. So the one who has merged with the Lord, all Nama Rupa disappears. So Nachamat Bhutani, no beings are in me, from that standpoint. When a person has not merged with God, like in our state now, we have not merged with God. When you look in the world, what you are seeing? Nama Rupa. Name and form. So, one statement is from this standpoint, and one statement is from the standpoint of one who has merged with God. From that standpoint, there is no such thing as Nama, Roop. Therefore, the second statement, Nachamat Bhuta, there are no beings in me. Because that is from the absolute standpoint. Paramartik Drishti means from the absolute standpoint. For one who has merged with God, no such thing as Nama, Rupa. So you do not think at any time that there is anything in our Shastras which are contradictory. It just you have to study this thing a little more, that is all. You always say, whenever you read Hindu Shastras, please pay attention to this. Whenever you read Hindu Shastras and you see anything which does not make sense or which seem contradictory or which seem to be inconsistent, you always end with this statement: I have to study it a little more. You don't ever say, this thing is contradictory, it is useless, throw it out. End with the statement saying, I have to study this thing a little more. You don't, people, listen now, Bhagwan Sri Krishna, the Lord of the universe, giving something. And you who know nothing, you come and you saying that thing contradictory. Who, you pass Bhagwan now? Isn't it? See the depth of the conceit of such a person. So suddenly you pass Bhagwan. Just say, if it seems contradictory to you, it may seem, that's okay, that's fair also. If something seems contradictory, it seems contradictory. Just say, oh, acha, theek hai. I have to study that thing a little. Yes. I have to study that thing a little more. I have to get a good teacher or get somebody and let it teach me a little more. That is all. Don't go on saying, no, that useless thing. What? Stupid Gītā. Throw away that thing. People do that. Huh? Listen here. I walk in on the streets of Mumbai one day. On the streets of Mumbai. And a fella have a set up old, tear up, bust up, second-hand book. Cover missing here, this missing, all kind of thing. And he's selling on the street. 1 rupee for one. 1 rupee is like 10 cents, Trinidad money. 1 rupee for a book. Oh, you know among that he have a Gītā? And that too, Gurudev Gītā. Imagine the person who put it there. It is a useless thing. 1 rupee I pay for Gurudev Gītā. I retrieved it. So, you have to think about the mind of the person who, a useless thing. Why go do with this? It had to be in the mind. Why go do with this? This is the idea. So don't ever think, we do arati for the scriptures. Don't ever think any such thing that it is contradictory, inconsistent, this, that. Nachavatstani bhutani pashyame yogama ishwaram. See my greatness. From one standpoint, there are no names and forms in me. And from another, what is called as paramartik drishti, from the absolute standpoint, there are no names and forms in me. Paramartik. What is called as vyavaharik, empirical order, the empirical level, all these names and forms, they exist only. If I were not there, they will not exist. That is the idea. Now, paramartik level is only for a realized soul. One who has realized God. He has that drishti, that vision, that understanding. But all of us are saying, here still. So Bhagwan now comes back to all of us. He goes back to the empirical aura. In the next verse, now this will be number 6. See that? यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायु सर्वत्र गो महान्
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानि चुपधारय
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम्
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादौ विसृजाम्यहम्
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की
Jai
यथा आकाशस्थितः नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानि इति उपधारय. My dear Arjuna, now I'm coming back to the level, our level, because you see names and forms. Arjuna is seeing names and forms, so Bhagavan comes back to that level. From the highest level, the level for realized soul, there is no such thing as names and forms. He sees pure existence only, no names and forms. One who is in samadhi, in other words. So now at this level, yatha akashasthitaha. Akashasthitaha means like staying in the space. You know, this space is here. Vayuhu, the air. There is space, and in the space there is air, which you breathe. That kind of air, not this kind of air. Well, this air also is there, both of them, but we're talking about this air, Vayu. So this air is pervading the space. The space is all pervasive, and the air is there in the space, or the other way around. Space is pervading the air. Tatha sarvani bhutani mai sthani iti upadharaya. Mat sthani means mai sthani means all beings. Just like how this air exists in the space, all beings exist in me. Is giving an example. Example is the best way to teach. Throughout this Gītā, Bhagavan gives examples. That I keep telling you all stories and this and that. When you tell a story or you tell an incident or a joke or this, you remember that. And through that you remember the message. So Bhagavan himself is giving an example now. So just as we have space, and in the space is all pervasive. He says, Sarvatra go mahan. The space is great, infinite, all pervasive. And in that space, we have this air. So the air is occupying some space. You see? In the very same way, we have the Lord who is Mahan, infinite, great, big, Mahat. Mahan is Mahat. And Sarvatragaha means all pervasive, in everywhere. And that Lord, we have all the beings existing. And the Lord who is pure existence is the substratum for all the beings to exist. So he exists. First, his existence is primary. His existence precedes. And because his existence is there, he is also called as Sat. Sat means existence. Satchitanand you have heard, na? That Sat is existence. And all us beings, we exist in him as Namarupa. my essential core is also existence, but I only know my nama rupa. Means I only pay attention to my nama rupa. That's why I go and telling people, I am Indian, I am Chinese, I am African, I am this, I am that. The Atma is Indian or what? The Atma is nothing, no Indian. Existence is nothing Indian or anything. Existence has no race or nationality or nothing. But we identify with that level, Nama Rupa. You see? So as the vast infinite space is there, and there is the air existing in the space. So the vast infinite existence is there, and all the beings exist in that existence. That existence is me, Bhagavan is saying. Matstani ipi iti upadharaya. Then sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritimya. Now from that verse, Bhagavan tells about the issuing forth of beings in the world, and this involves a very, very, very important principle or concept in Hinduism, which I will leave for tomorrow. He tells about how all beings manifest, and this whole idea of creation and all of that, which is not there in Hinduism. Please pay attention to this. In Hinduism, there is no such thing as creation. There is something called manifestation and demanifestation. Vyakta and avyakta. Manifestation and demanifestation. So things are going in a cyclical fashion. All of us who are here, Bhagavan explains in the second chapter, we were not created. We were always there. Second chapter and fourth chapter. 2 places. We were always there. So what you do? We die, means we drop this body and we take our round and we come back in our next body. And we drop that body and again we... But so then how you were created? You're not creating, you're only making... That is why people be so confused. Look, if somebody spin you around like that, when you get chakkar, when you get dizzy like that. When you just spin around like that, you get dizzy and chakkar, you get like that or not? Yeah. So that all people confuse all the time because we only making rounds. Going and coming, going and coming. That is one good reason why all human beings confused. I see such a funny cartoon. They have 10 little boys line up like this. They're going to run a race. But you know, there's a line, so you have to run in this line. Lines not drawn out. So the 10 of them stand up there now. And they're waiting in the line. So where's the race now? The judges who are here, 10 judges came. And they spin them around on spot. They spin them around on the spot like 5-10 times and then let him go. You think he could run in that line? You run it sideways. You run it sideways when they let him go. Because they get chakkar. That is the thing. Correct thing. The Hindi word is so nice. In English, what is the word? You get dizzy. Dizzy. Dizzy could ever sound like chakkar. When you say chakkar, you know what you're talking about, isn't it? When you say Raman get chakkar, means in a long time we say our next word for that is to say tutulbe. Huh? I don't know what tutulbe means, but I know they used to say that word. Anyway. So these beings keep coming and going. That whole process Bhagavan will explain, but we'll see that tomorrow. Okay. Now,